Hello YouTube, this is the Mokisa 11 and today I decided to do a demo or tutorial showing how to do the goddess faux locks that I've been providing here in South Miami. And these are two that I've already done. I'm going to show you a full lock and I'm going to show you two methods of closure. This hair that was used to braid is the free tress in deep twist, and it is a bulk kind of crochet hair that I use for the braided base. You can use different kinds. I've seen people using expression hair, people using different types of curl patterns. And then the wrapped portion was actually done with My Beauty and Afro Kinky Bulk 24 inches. Okay, it's super soft. I've been using Afro Twist Braid by the Janet Collection, but I think I might actually start using the My Beauty. It gives a very natural appearance. It looks like human hair actually, because I've done the human hair ones and it looks just like that. Super soft, super pliable, the way it should be for this style. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Stay tuned. Okay guys, I am starting with a piece of extension hair. This is the usual crossover method where you take two strands and cross them over each other, okay, and it creates three. I use very little hair to braid because I'm going to be wrapping, and the whole purpose of these locks is to be as pliable and soft and versatile as possible. They are not supposed to be like traditional dreadlock extensions. They're not supposed to be stiff. So because of that, I use very little hair to start with, and then I go ahead and start wrapping. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a basic single braid. I wouldn't normally use a part this big, but I'm just showing you this for demonstration purposes. So I'm gonna go ahead and braid this down. The objective is to braid past the client's hair. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you the next step. Now, if I was using hair that was actually coarser or about the same texture as the hair on my client, then I would just go ahead and drop it, you know, like kind of a pick and drop. But because this hair is considerably softer than the client's hair, I'm gonna go ahead and tie two single strand knots. I'm just gonna take a little piece of the braiding hair, okay, and use my thumb as an anchor and the index finger, pass that through. So I'll do it one more time. Use my thumb as the anchor, wrap it around, and pass it through. So that's gonna secure that in place, okay? Then I'm gonna take one individual section. When I use synthetic or human hair, depending on the brand you get, they're usually already sectioned off, either with rubber bands or in some kind of way like that to keep the hair neat. So this is probably a little bit more than one section, but let's say it's one. I usually use one piece for one lock, but sometimes I may have to use a little bit more. So I'm gonna go ahead and divide this into three, and I'm gonna start at the very top by putting these straight pieces that look very manufactured kind of at the root, okay? So go ahead and put that there. And then I will start wrapping. This portion is where I usually wrap it the way I do a dreadlock extension. So it's gonna be a bit tight, a bit shiny. And another tip is when you do the braids, you don't want them to be tight to the scalp. They're supposed to be lax, okay? So that you can pretty much style from the first day immediately after having it done. So it should be loose, but this wrapping should be a little bit tighter at the root. Then I'm gonna go ahead and do a spread version. So you're still keeping the wrapping close, but as you go down, it creates an irregular appearance. You can pull on it so that it's taut, and also push up to make sure that there's no gaps. And when you do the spread version, there really is no need to keep pushing up, but you could just do that for added security. See, it's not going anywhere, but it still looks somewhat irregular and natural. Okay, so I'm gonna add my next piece. and I'm gonna flip it over the way I did at the beginning, put in the straight pieces basically close to the base, and keep that spread version going. So I'm not wrapping it the way I did at the top, which is where it was kind of like really tight. This is supposed to be spreading so that it looks irregular, because you don't want it to, although it is synthetic, it doesn't have to look synthetic. Okay. So I'm just going to keep going down, and then again you can push up, but there really is no need, because with this method, it's pretty secure. You have all those little irregularities, keep that authenticity going. So I'm probably going to use one more piece, and again keep that spread version going. And then I'm going to show you how I close it. So I'm going to pause for a second and come back and show you the end. So now for the end piece, I can do one of two things. I can either do a slip knot method, which is what I'm going to show you right now, or I can use glue. So for the slip knot method, I take whatever's left of the wrapped hair, and I go ahead and do the same slip knot I did that secured the braid that I used for the base. So that's one knot. And that's two knots. Okay, so if you just leave this like that and you pull on this lock, the whole thing will come down, okay? So to give it added security, I go ahead and take a piece of the braiding hair now. Okay, so this was the wrapped hair. That was 2 slip knots. And I alternate with the braiding hair. And I'll probably do 2 to 3 because the free tress deep twist is quite soft and a little slippery. So I want to make sure that lock does not come out at all. Okay. Okay. So that's my 3. And it's not going anywhere. Okay. It's nice and secure. For an added step of security, I'm going to go ahead and do a back combing method. So I'm going to lift up the mannequin head a little bit. All right, so this is my lock, and this is where the 4 to 5 single strand knots are made. And I'm just going to go ahead and back comb that. Okay. Okay, and if it's a little too lumpy, you can go ahead and undo that, but that's basically how you do it. So you do the single strand knots, and then you back comb, then you palm roll. Okay, so that's what that looks like. So now I will start another lock, and then I'll come to the end and show you how to seal it with glue. So I'm going to use glue to seal the end. So I'm just going to put a dot where I stopped. I'm going to twist it in the direction that it was wrapped. Blow on it a little bit. Okay, so now that it's not moving, I'm going to take my comb and back comb the end. So the glue will seal it, so seal it first, and then go ahead and back comb it and palm roll it. Okay, I wouldn't recommend palm rolling it before you back comb, or even as you just put the glue on, because it will look white or gray. Okay, so this one was done with 4 to 5 single strand knots, and this was done with glue. This was done with 4 to 5 single strand knots, and this was done with glue. And the only reason why I know the difference is because the glue is stiff and hard, and the single strand knots it remains soft. Like this is single strand knots, it's still soft. All right, so here are 4 dreadlock extensions. I hope you try it out, the Goddess Faux Lock method. This is a method I use. You could use either single strand knots or the glue. with back combing to seal, and try it out. So see you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.